So we're recording this the day after the Super Bowl. We had a lot of TV spots. We got live action How to Train Your Dragon. I think there might have been a Fantastic Four one, but I know there was definitely a Cap one.
Yes.
But we're here to discuss the new full trailer for Thunderbolts, which I know you're very excited for. I just watched the trailer. You watched it last night, Super Bowl night. It's a very interesting, just the whole movie I'm very interested in. There's a lot to think about with it because this is our first team up movie since Guardians 3. There's a new team. There's all the weird suspense around what the asterisk stands for at the end of Thunderbolts. You don't know what that's going to mean. Taskmaster is clearly not in the movie. I don't know if you saw any of that on Twitter, but I was cracking up at that. They're like, Taskmaster's literally just in the scene that they keep showing in the trailer. Like, it's the scene when Sentry finally comes out, Bob comes out, and they're like, oh, Taskmaster's dying in that scene. I don't know how to feel about the trailer. I want to be excited about it. I think I like the first trailer a little bit more than the second one. The team dynamic is going to be interesting because we're dealing with a lot of characters that we don't know a lot about yet. Bucky obviously is one of the most active characters, so to speak, in the MCU. Like, Sebastian Stan has been around literally since 2011, which is crazy with Cap 1. And now we're in 2025 and he's still doing this. Yeah. But then we have Florence Pugh in Yelena. We have David Harbour's Red Guardian. We have Ghost, who's only really been a villain in one movie, and John Walker, who's only showed up in Falcon and the Winter Soldier. What are your thoughts on the trailer? I want to hear a little bit about what you think.
Yeah. So I remember when they first announced this movie, I wasn't excited about it at all. I was a little bit more excited when the first trailer had dropped, but I still didn't really know anything about it. And at first I stayed not as excited, but the more I thought about it, the more I started to get myself a little bit more excited, just because it reminded me of going into Guardians for the first time and not knowing what that would be like or truly what that was. And I never really knew of the Thunderbolts, even in comics, to be honest. After this trailer, I am definitely excited for this film. I am much more than I'd say for Captain America, which is set to come out like in a week or two. I feel like we're gonna witness with this basically like what Avengers was, but with all, like you said, with all these characters that we truly don't know, and a lot of them came from this villainous sort of past. And to have Bucky playing now like a Steve Rogers sort of role and recruiting them, and which he is now revealed through this trailer, you see that he is the one that kind of, at least for the sake of Sentry, this villain that they have to defeat, he's recruiting them as for help. And so that alone is like, oh snap, this is like he's now taking on like the Captain America sort of role, but like Bucky's still a villain at the end of the day. So to know that he could do this with a bunch of like deadbeat sort of villains, it's almost really cool. And I know in the comics there's, I don't know of the Thunderbolts, but I do know of the Dark Avengers. And I think that they're going to turn into the
Dark Avengers.
I do. And I think that's what the asterisk is for. Again, I don't know what that is. Maybe I'm bad with grammar, but like I don't really know what an
it's a placeholder. It's essentially, it's going to be a placeholder.
Got you. So then I think they will become
I could totally see that. They talked about like how they're trying to build out all these different teams. Obviously they have like the Young Avengers now they're talking about doing, and we don't really know who the Avengers are in the current incarnation of the MCU. I think that's where my trepidation kind of comes in, because we're just still, there's all these loose ends that we have no idea where we're going. And so much of the tapestry of what the MCU is like interconnecting all of these different things. I do like what you said about Bucky kind of filling the Steve Rogers role. I mean, I was cool with either Sam or Bucky becoming Cap, but I like how this kind of separates them both as their own journeys of their own version of Cap.
Oh, I like that.
So to speak. Yeah. I think that could be cool. I'm still not sold on Valentina de Allegra or Allegra de Fontaine. Julia Louis-Dreyfus is a great actress. I don't know if she fits in Marvel, especially in this character. It's like weird. We do get confirmation that she bought Avengers Tower. So that is going to have to mean something, obviously. And I think that they're holding back a character from us. I don't know who it's going to be. I haven't really thought into that yet. I would love if it was Zemo. I don't know if it will be. But that's the character that, like, ever since Daniel Bruhl came back in Falcon and Winter Soldier, I was like, I want more of that. Give me more of that guy.
Yeah.
And I think he also was in the Thunderbolts in the comics, in some of the teams of the comics. So I think he would be cool. And again, he obviously is like a megalomaniac, and he's like the type of person that can pit other people together or against one another, so to speak, like we saw in Civil War. Haven't seen enough of Sentry yet, but I know that he's obviously not somebody to fuck with.
Yeah, those shadow powers
was crazy.
They were pretty crazy. That's another thing I liked about this trailer. It showed more of that.
Yes, I agree. And I do think the one thing that I'm holding on to hope with this, and I haven't seen Cap 4 yet, but I'm very nervous about it. But with Thunderbolts, we have the same creative team that did Beef on Netflix.
Oh, wow, okay.
Which is really interesting to me. Lee Sung-jin did the first pass of the script and was supposed to direct it. He dipped, but then Jake Schreier came in to direct it, and he directed half the episodes of Beef season 1. So, and that Steven Yeun was originally supposed to play Sentry, and then he had to leave.
I remember that as well.
Which, I mean, I think I'm trying to think of the actor that's playing Sentry now.
What's his name?
I forget. He was in Lessons in Chemistry, which I didn't watch, but I heard he was really good in it. But Steven Yeun is like such a great actor, and I'm like a little upset that we didn't get him, but I'm interested. I'm intrigued. Fantastic Four is still my most anticipated movie from the MCU, but
I agree. I'm more anticipated for Fantastic Four. I did hear something, which I don't know if this is Marvel revealed this info, so it's nothing of a spoiler if they're revealing it this early. But they did say that I guess something out of this is the Void, which is
I did see something like that.
And Sentry has essentially like access, or he's involved with that. But I did hear that the Thunderbolts, the third act of this movie, takes place entirely within the Void with these characters.
The Void, like what we saw in Deadpool and Wolverine?
Not
or
the
was
Void.
that wasn't the Void, was it?
I think it was the Void, but
this is a different Void.
Maybe they've run out of terminology. I don't know. But I've heard, and what I've heard is that with that comes like having to face yourself and things like fears and things that come with that.
Interesting. Okay.
And so I think now
add a different element to
what we're about to get, and I think maybe that's strategic on Marvel's part to reveal that sort of thing, because maybe they know that there's not a lot of people that will be as excited for this as most other films that they have coming out, and so that little bit of information, yeah, I feel like is going to be strong.
My biggest thing is, and this is a much larger conversation that we'll probably cover on this channel, but all of this has to lead us eventually to where we're going. Like, we have Avengers Doomsday and Avengers Secret Wars about to start filming.
Yeah.
We have 3 movies coming out this year that all take place in different time periods and different characters. And I have to start to see the pieces kind of come together, because I'm so nervous with where we've been left.
Yeah.
I mean, we got no Kang anymore. We know that Loki's somewhere. Agatha is an entirely different thing by itself. We don't have an Avengers team. Mackie's Cap is obviously going to play a big role in that, you would think. But I don't know. I'm skeptical. It's the first time in all of my fandom of Marvel that I'm more negative than positive going into the movies, which I hate.
Me too.
But
I am on the same page.
But I think we'll get somewhere positive. There's gonna be some good that we can take out of Captain America regardless of what we think. But
yes.
We'll see.
This is The Culture.